Anna grew up in a small but cozy house on the outskirts of town. Her parents were professors at the local state university, and from childhood instilled in their daughter a love of knowledge and self-respect. The atmosphere in Anna's family was one of trust. Her parents never read her diary, always knocked before entering her room, and consistently asked her opinion on important family matters. Little Anna grew up confident that her voice mattered and that personal boundaries were sacred. Her school years passed with diligent study and active participation in community life. Anna was class president, competed in state competitions for English and literature, and participated in the drama club. Teachers noted her determination and principles. If Anna thought something was unfair, she always spoke up about it directly but politely. This character trait sometimes caused her trouble, but earned her the respect of those around her. After high school, Anna enrolled in the psychology department, dreaming of helping people. Her studies came easily, and she managed to work part-time at a bookstore. It was there, among the shelves of novels and textbooks, that she met her first love, Aaron. Their romance was passionate but short-lived. Aaron turned out to be jealous and possessive, while Anna, raised in an atmosphere of freedom and respect, couldn't tolerate such control. The breakup was painful, but reinforced her belief that one should never sacrifice oneself for a relationship. After university, Anna got a job at a large company as an HR specialist. The work required a lot of energy and time, but brought both moral and financial satisfaction. By age 25, Anna had managed to save a decent amount for a down payment on a small studio apartment and was even considering taking out a mortgage. But then everything changed. Anna's grandmother, Vera, had always been more than just a relative to her. She was a close friend and mentor. It was her grandmother who taught her to bake delicious pies, knit cozy sweaters, and most importantly, never lose her self-worth. "There is no love worth betraying yourself for," Vera often repeated. When her grandmother unexpectedly passed away, it was a terrible blow for Anna. Along with her life wisdom, Vera left her granddaughter a 2-bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood. The apartment, with high ceilings and large windows, held the warmth of her grandmother's hands. Anna moved in carefully, initially keeping everything as it was: the old floral wallpaper, the massive polished furniture, and the knitted doilies on the nightstands. But gradually, while preserving the spirit of the place, she began to add something of her own. She changed the wallpaper, bought a new sofa, and installed modern appliances. Working in HR gave Anna the opportunity to observe different people, and she often noticed how many women and men sacrificed their interests for their partners and then bitterly regretted it. Anna herself, after Aaron, dated a couple of men, but the relationships didn't work out, either because of her independence or because she could see her partner's flaws too clearly. By age 28, Anna had grown to become head of the personnel department, traveled through half of Europe on vacations, built a solid circle of friends, and changed her image several times. Her life was full and self-sufficient, and it was precisely then, when she wasn't looking for a relationship at all, that Victor entered her life. It happened at their company's holiday party. To organize the New Year's celebration, they hired an event planning agency, and Victor was their host. Tall, with an open smile and attentive brown eyes, he immediately caught Anna's attention. During the discussion of event details, they constantly caught each other's eyes and smiled at one another. After the third meeting, Victor gathered his courage and invited Anna for coffee. "I understand this isn't professional, but I can't concentrate on work thinking about how to ask you on a date," he said, blushing slightly. Anna appreciated his honesty and agreed. Their first date lasted 5 hours. They walked through the winter park, drank mulled wine in a small cafe, and talked about everything under the sun. Victor turned out to be an attentive listener with a subtle sense of humor and broad horizons. He talked a lot about his work, travels, and books, but almost nothing about his family. At the time, Anna didn't think much of it. Their relationship developed beautifully. Victor courted her romantically, gave unusual flowers, cooked dinners, and arranged surprises. After 3 months, They were spending almost every weekend together. After 6 months, Victor started staying overnight at Anna's place. Another month later, he had practically moved in, though he officially continued renting his apartment. "Maybe I should move all my things to your place," he suggested one evening. "Why pay for an apartment where I hardly ever stay?" Anna tensed slightly. Living together was a serious step, but their relationship seemed so harmonious that she agreed. Besides, the apartment was spacious enough for two. Life with Victor turned out to be easy and pleasant. He was neat, helped with household chores, and never raised his voice. The only thing that bothered Anna a bit was his frequent calls to his mother. Victor called her every day, sometimes several times, and always gave detailed reports about his plans. "You're very attached to your mom, aren't you?" Anna carefully asked after a couple of months of living together. "Of course," Victor smiled. "She raised me alone without a father, worked 2 jobs her whole life, so I wouldn't lack anything. She's my closest person." Anna nodded, suppressing a sudden feeling of anxiety. After all, caring for parents is normal and right. At least that's how she reassured herself. Their idyll continued until Victor suggested introducing Anna to his mother. By that time, they had been living together for almost a year, and it would have been awkward to refuse, although Anna felt a certain wariness. The meeting took place on a Saturday afternoon at Anna's apartment. Victor's mother, Patricia, arrived with an enormous number of bags containing homemade preserves, pies, jams, and even a set of new kitchen towels. "I just had to see how my boy is settled," she said, surveying the apartment with a critical eye. "Victor is so impractical around the house. I always did everything for him." "I think he manages just fine," Anna smiled, watching Victor fuss around his mother, taking packages from her. "We split household duties equally." "Really?" Patricia raised her eyebrows. "What a good boy. And I thought that a woman in the home is the keeper of the hearth. That's what my Vic always said." The entire evening went in a similar vein. Patricia told stories about Victor's childhood, emphasizing how much she had done for him, and he sat nearby nodding and adding confirming remarks. Anna was given the role of grateful listener who had the incredible luck to meet such a wonderful man with such a wonderful mother. "You've been living together for a while now?" Patricia asked when Victor went to the kitchen to make tea. "About a year," Anna answered. "And you're not tired of him yet?" There was undisguised mockery in Patricia's voice. "Victor is a complicated boy, capricious, picky. I know how difficult he can be." "I find it easy with him, actually," Anna replied, beginning to understand where the threat to their relationship was coming from. "Well, you're still young," Patricia smirked. "Live together a bit longer. Get to know each other better. We'll see what you say in a couple of years." When Patricia finally left, leaving behind a pile of unwanted gifts and a feeling of heaviness in the air, Anna asked Victor directly, "Don't you think your mom is a bit possessive?" "In what sense?" Victor looked genuinely surprised. "She talks about you as if you're still a little boy, and she doesn't seem very happy about our relationship." "That's nonsense," Victor waved it off. "She just loves me very much and worries. She's always like this. You'll get used to it." Anna didn't pursue the topic, but inside she felt that their idyll had its first crack. 6 months later, Victor proposed to Anna. It was a beautiful gesture, a ring and a glass of champagne, candles, romantic music. Anna agreed, although somewhere deep down she still had doubts. But she loved Victor, and all the problems with the mother-in-law seemed solvable. Wedding preparation began with enthusiasm, but quickly turned into a battlefield. Patricia had an opinion on every question, from the color of the tablecloths to the guest list. She insisted on a lavish celebration with hundreds of guests, most of whom were her colleagues and acquaintances. "Mom," Anna tried to object. She was trying to build a relationship with her mother-in-law and therefore addressed her that way. "Victor and I wanted an intimate wedding just for close people." "Oh, sweetie," Patricia patted her hand. You're still young, you don't understand much. A wedding is an important event. Everything needs to be at the highest level. But this is our wedding, Anna tried to insist. I think Victor and I know better what we want. Victor! Patricia turned to her son, ignoring Anna. Tell your fiancé that we can't offend Aunt Lucy and Uncle Carl. They're so looking forward to the invitation. And Victor, to Anna's surprise and disappointment, agreed with his mother. This pattern repeated more and more often. Patricia made demands, Anna objected, and Victor supported his mother. On the wedding day, Anna looked beautiful but felt like an actress in someone else's play. The banquet hall was filled with strangers. The menu consisted of dishes chosen by her mother-in-law. Even the bridal bouquet wasn't what Anna wanted. Patricia, in a dress almost as elaborate as the bride's, reigned at the table, accepting congratulations and telling everyone how happy she was that her boy finally got married. And how are you? Anna's mom quietly asked, finding a moment. Happy, Anna lied, not wanting to spoil the celebration. But inside, she felt growing anxiety. When Patricia, already quite drunk, began telling everyone how Victor was afraid of the dark as a child and came to sleep in her bed until he was 15, Anna realized that the battle for their family independence would be hard. After the wedding, Anna hoped that her mother-in-law's interference in their lives would decrease. After all, now she and Victor were officially a family. But reality turned out to be the opposite. Patricia believed that now she had the legal right to participate in every aspect of their lives. The first conflict erupted when the newlyweds returned from their honeymoon. Anna planned to do a small renovation in the apartment, replace the wallpaper, relay the linoleum, update the curtains. Victor supported the idea, and together they chose wallpaper in light tones with a barely noticeable pattern. But when Patricia came to visit and saw the preparation for the renovation, she was resolutely opposed. Floral wallpaper in the living room, those beautiful ones with large roses and burgundy curtains to match. Now that's chic. Mom, we like calm tones, Victor tried to explain. Oh, what do you know? Patricia waved him off. You're still young and inexperienced. Tomorrow I'll bring you samples of proper wallpaper. And she really did bring a whole pile of catalogs with garish colors and even dragged over heavy velvet curtains left over from her own renovation. We appreciate your care, Anna said firmly, but we've already chosen everything we need. Victor! Patricia ignored Anna, addressing her son directly. Do you really like this tastelessness? You always loved bright colors. Anna expected her husband to support her, but he just smiled guiltily. Maybe we could look at what Mom suggests. Perhaps we'll find a compromise. What compromise? Anna was indignant when her mother-in-law went to the kitchen to cook them lunch, though no one had asked her to. We chose everything together. Mom just wants what's best, Victor sighed. She'll be happy if we consider her opinion. What does it cost you? It's not about the wallpaper, Anna tried to explain. It's about this being our home, and decisions about it should be made by us. But Victor just shrugged. You're reacting too strongly. Mom is just taking care of us. In the end, they did the renovation their own way, but the residue from that conversation remained. Anna understood that her mother-in-law would fight for control over their lives, and her husband wasn't ready to stand up to his mother. Patricia's intrusions became more and more regular. She came without warning, often catching Anna off guard in home clothes, without makeup, preparing a simple dinner instead of the exquisite dishes that, according to her mother-in-law, every self-respecting wife should cook. What are you cooking? Patricia wrinkled her nose, looking into the pot. Pasta with sausages? Is that food for a grown man? Victor has loved meat in French style since childhood. Here, I brought you the recipe. Wrote it down specially. She handed Anna a sheet covered with small handwriting and immediately, without waiting for an answer, began to take charge in the kitchen, pushing her daughter-in-law aside. Watch and learn while I can still teach you. Anna clenched her teeth, but remained silent, not wanting to create conflict. She hoped that over time her mother-in-law would calm down. But time passed, and the situation only worsened. Patricia constantly rearranged books on the shelves, moved dishes in the cabinets, and spread her embroidered napkins on all the tables. "Mom, please don't touch our things," Anna asked one day, discovering that all the spices in the kitchen cabinet had been arranged in alphabetical order. "Oh, come on!" Her mother-in-law waved her off. "I know better what's convenient. I've been running a household my whole life, and you're a careerist." The last word she pronounced with such contempt that Anna felt a wave of indignation rise inside her. Still, she restrained herself and simply left the kitchen. When she told Victor about everything, he just sighed tiredly. "Anna, you know what she's like. She just wants to help." "This isn't help, it's invasion," Anna objected. "She's not doing this because she wants to help us, but because she wants to control our lives." "Well, what are you imagining?" Victor waved it off. "Mom has always taken care of me like this. For her, this is normal. But you're already an adult," Anna reminded him. "You have your own family. You can't be a mama's boy your whole life." Victor frowned, and Anna realized she'd hit a nerve. But the conversation was necessary. "I'm not a mama's boy," he snapped. "I just respect my mother and value everything she's done for me." "Respecting parents is wonderful," Anna said gently, realizing she'd chosen the wrong tone. "But there's a difference between respect and submission. Your mom constantly interferes in our lives, and you allow it." "And what should I do?" Victor spread his hands. "Kick her out? Tell her not to come?" "No," Anna shook her head. "But you could explain to her that we need personal space, that we're grateful for her care, but want to make decisions about our own lives ourselves." "You don't understand," Victor sighed. "Mom is very sensitive. If I say something like that to her, she'll think I've betrayed her, that I don't love her anymore. She dedicated her whole life to me." Anna saw that the conversation was going nowhere. Victor sincerely didn't understand that his relationship with his mother was unhealthy, that her care had long since turned into control, and his dependence on maternal approval was preventing him from becoming a full husband. The situation came to a head when Patricia started coming with overnight stays. At first, it happened because of an emergency in her house. A pipe burst, and she really had nowhere to go. Anna hospitably made up the bed in the living room and didn't even object when her mother-in-law stayed for 2 nights instead of the promised one. But then Patricia began finding more and more reasons. "My head hurts so much, I'm afraid to stay alone in case something happens. They're doing renovations upstairs, such noise. It's just impossible. They're turning off the hot water in my neighborhood. Can I wash and spend the night at your place?" And each time Victor said, "Of course, Mom, stay," and Anna, gritting her teeth, made up the bed in the living room. During these visits, Patricia completely took over the initiative in the house. She cooked according to her own recipes, watched her favorite TV shows at full volume, and gave unsolicited advice about everything. One day, Anna found her going through her closet. "What are you doing?" From indignation, Anna even switched to the formal you, although she usually addressed her mother-in-law informally. "Oh, I decided to organize your things," Patricia answered as if nothing was wrong. "You have such a mess in your closet. And this blouse," she critically examined one of Anna's favorite blouses, "doesn't suit your complexion at all. Why do you wear it?" Anna's patience snapped. "Please don't touch my things," she said firmly. "This is my closet, and I decide what and how to store in it." "Oh, aren't we principled?" Patricia smirked. "I was trying to help, by the way. Victor likes it when a woman looks well-groomed. I know, I'm his mother." "And I'm his wife," Anna reminded her, feeling her hands begin to tremble with anger. "I'm asking you to respect my personal space." "Victor!" Patricia called loudly, as if not hearing Anna. "Come here and see how your wife is talking to me." Victor, hearing his mother's cry, came running from the living room. He looked back and forth between his mother and wife in confusion. What happened? Your wife is being rude to me, Patricia declared, theatrically pressing her hand to her chest. I just wanted to help her with her clothes, and she attacked me. Anna, why are you acting like this? Victor looked at his wife reproachfully. Mom just wanted to help. Victor, Anna tried to speak calmly. Your mother is going through my personal things without permission. Don't you think that crosses all boundaries? What boundaries? We're family, Patricia exclaimed. In a family, there should be no secrets. There should be respect, Anna said firmly. And I'm asking for it to be respected. Victor! Patricia again turned to her son, ignoring Anna. Tell your wife she's wrong, that I'm just taking care of you. And Victor, to Anna's deep disappointment, again took his mother's side. Anna, don't exaggerate. Mom just wanted to help you. Don't make a problem out of this. That evening, Patricia slept in the living room. She still hadn't left, despite the conflict. Anna had a serious talk with her husband. Victor, this can't continue, Anna said, lowering her voice to a whisper so as not to wake her mother-in-law. Your mom constantly interferes in our lives, and you allow it. She's just taking care of us, Victor habitually objected. No, this isn't care, Anna shook her head. This is control. She doesn't respect our space, our decisions, my personal things. And every time I try to establish healthy boundaries, you take her side. I'm not taking anyone's side, Victor frowned. I'm just trying to avoid conflicts. You know how emotional she can be. I know, Anna nodded, but that's not an excuse. Victor, you and I are husband and wife. We should be on the same side. If we don't start setting boundaries now, this will continue forever. And what do you suggest? Victor asked with a challenge. Forbid my mother from coming to us? Kick her out of our house? Of course not, Anna sighed. I just want you to talk to her. Explain that we're grateful for her care, but want some independence. For example, we could agree that she'll let us know about visits in advance and not come without calling. And not stay overnight without a serious reason. You don't understand, Victor shook his head. If I say something like that to her, she'll perceive it as betrayal. She'll suffer. And what about my suffering? Anna asked quietly. I feel like a guest in my own home. And every time I try to change something, you take her side. Anna, you're too dramatic, Victor sighed. Let's just sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. But no tomorrow came for this conversation. Victor, as usual, avoided difficult topics, and Anna didn't want to create a scandal. She decided to take the situation into her own hands. The next day, waiting for Victor to leave for work, Anna called her mother-in-law and asked her to come over. When Patricia arrived with a victorious smile, clearly expecting an apology, Anna calmly said, Patricia, I appreciate your care, but please don't touch my things. Don't rearrange anything in the apartment without my permission, and let us know about visits in advance. Are you kicking me out? Patricia's eyes immediately filled with tears. Your husband's own mother? After everything I've done for you. I'm not kicking anyone out, Anna answered calmly. I'm just asking you to respect mine and Victor's space. You'll always be a welcome guest in our home. But exactly that, a guest, not the owner. How dare you? Patricia switched from fake tears to real anger. I knew from the start that you wanted to take my son away from me. I knew. You think I don't see how you're turning him against me. Nobody's taking anyone away. Anna tried to remain calm, though her heart was pounding wildly. Victor loves you and always will. But he's a husband now. He has his own family. That's the natural course of things. Nothing natural about it. Patricia exclaimed. I invested my whole life in him, and you came along and think you can take him away from me. It won't work. With these words, she grabbed her purse and demonstratively headed for the exit. You'll see, she threw out already at the door. Victor will never choose you over me. Never. After her mother-in-law left, Anna felt a strange mixture of relief and anxiety. She understood that this conflict was far from resolved, but the first step had been taken. Now, much depended on how Victor would react. The reaction didn't take long. That evening, barely stepping over the threshold, Victor asked, "What did you say to my mother? She's been calling me all day crying, saying you kicked her out." "I didn't kick her out," Anna answered calmly. "I just asked her to respect our space and not come without warning." "And why did you do that?" Victor was clearly irritated. "Now Mom is hysterical. She says she'll never come to us again, that you hate her." "Vitya!" Anna tried to take his hand, but he pulled away. "I don't hate your mother. I'm just trying to establish healthy boundaries. That's normal in relationships." "But she's my mother," Victor objected. "There are no boundaries with her." "That's exactly the problem," Anna sighed. "Victor, we've been living together for 2 years. We have our own family. I'm your wife. But every time there's a conflict between me and your mom, you take her side." "That's not true," Victor protested. "I'm just trying to reconcile everyone." "No, Vitya," Anna shook her head. "You're not trying to reconcile. You're just taking the path of least resistance. Your mom throws a tantrum, and you immediately give in to her, forcing me to put up with the situation. But I can't live like this anymore. And what are you suggesting?" Victor asked challengingly. "I'm suggesting you make a choice," Anna said firmly. "You're an adult man. You have your own family. If you want our marriage to be strong, you need to put our relationship first. That doesn't mean you'll stop loving your mother or taking care of her. It just means you'll respect our space and decisions." Victor was silent for a long time, digesting what he'd heard. Then he said quietly, "I need to think. I'm going for a walk." And he left, leaving Anna alone with her thoughts and fears. On one hand, she was glad she'd finally said everything that had accumulated. On the other, she was afraid that Victor wouldn't be able to overcome his dependence on his mother. Victor returned late when Anna was already asleep. The next day, they hardly spoke, both avoiding the difficult topic. But a week later, Patricia appeared again on the threshold of their apartment, this time with a pie and joyful news. "I made you such a dish. Victor has loved it since childhood." And when Anna, gritting her teeth, was about to remind her about the agreement to warn about visits, Victor got ahead of her. "Mom, we agreed that you'd call before coming." Patricia froze with the pie in her hands. What calls? Am I a stranger that I need to warn about my coming?" "Not a stranger," Victor said gently. "But Anna and I have our own life, our own plans. We'd be happy to see you, but by agreement." Patricia transferred her shocked gaze from her son to her daughter-in-law. "This is what she's done to you. She's turned you against me. Ungrateful. After everything I've done for you." With these words, she threw the pie on the floor and ran out of the apartment, loudly slamming the door. "I told you this would happen," Victor sighed, looking at the pie smeared on the floor. "Yes," Anna nodded, feeling a strange relief that her husband had finally supported her. "But now at least everything's out in the open. An honest conflict is better than a false peace." The following months were difficult. Patricia either threw demonstrative tantrums on the phone or sent her son messages about how sick and lonely she was, or accidentally met Victor near the office and cried on his shoulder about how his daughter-in-law had destroyed their perfect relationship. Victor wavered, broke down several times, and again gave in to his mother. But each time he returned to the agreement with Anna. Gradually the situation began to improve. Patricia, realizing that open conflict wouldn't get her anywhere, changed tactics to something more subtle. Now she called before visits and tried not to interfere in the young family's affairs, although she couldn't resist barbed comments directed at Anna. "You didn't iron your husband's shirt? Modern women are completely different from our time." "Salad without mayo? Victor has loved it with mayo since childhood. But you know better, of course." Anna learned to let these comments pass by, and Victor, to her joy, more and more often gently stopped his mother. "Mom, I like the way she cooks, and I can iron my own shirts. It's not a woman's obligation." It seemed life was improving. Anna and Victor even began discussing the possibility of having a child. And it was precisely then that fate threw them a new twist. Pregnancy as a turning point. Anna learned about her pregnancy on a sunny April morning. 2 lines appeared on the test almost instantly, leaving no doubt. Anna's heart fluttered with happiness and anxiety at the same time. She and Victor wanted a child and had been preparing for this, but now that it had happened, she was gripped by fear. Would she manage? Would she be a good mother? And most importantly, how would Patricia react? Victor received the news with delight. "This is wonderful!" he exclaimed, spinning Anna around the room. "I'm going to be a father. We're going to be parents." "Yes, honey," Anna smiled, feeling her anxiety recede a bit under the wave of his joy. "But let's not tell anyone yet, okay? It's better to wait until 12 weeks. Of course, Victor agreed, although it was clear he was eager to share the news with the whole world. "Can I just tell Mom? She'll be so happy." And there it was, the old sore spot. Anna took a deep breath. "Vitya, we agreed not to tell anyone, not even my parents. I won't say anything yet. It's our secret until everything becomes more certain." "But Mom isn't just anyone," Victor objected. "She's the future grandmother. She has a right to know." "Vitya," Anna tried to speak gently, "it's not about rights. It's just that in the first trimester, the risk of miscarriage is highest. If, God forbid, something goes wrong, it'll be hard for me to explain this to everyone. Let's just wait a bit, okay?" Victor reluctantly agreed, but Anna could see how eager he was to tell his mother, and she wasn't surprised when a week later, Patricia called with enthusiastic congratulations. "Victor told me everything," she exclaimed. "I'm so happy. Finally, I'm going to be a grandmother." Anna shot a reproachful look at her husband, but he just shrugged guiltily. "Sorry, I couldn't hold back." From that moment on, Patricia seemed to find a second wind in her quest to control their lives. Now she had an iron justification, caring for the future grandchild. "Anna, I've signed you up with the best obstetrician in town," she announced at the next meeting. "My friend Zena saw him. Says he's a wonderful doctor." "Thank you. But I already have a doctor," Anna replied. "I'm seeing Dr. Sanders. She's very experienced and attentive." "Sanders." Patricia snorted. "She's so young, she knows nothing." No, you need someone with experience. I've already arranged everything. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we're going to the appointment." "Mom," Victor unexpectedly intervened. "Anna has already chosen a doctor. It's her decision." Patricia raised her eyebrows in surprise. "But I just want what's best for my grandchild." "We appreciate your care," Victor said gently, "but we'll manage ourselves." This was a small victory, but Anna knew the war was just beginning. And she was right. With each passing day, Patricia's interference became more and more insistent. She brought articles about proper nutrition during pregnancy, sent links to forums for expectant mothers, and even bought a huge book, Pregnancy Day by Day, and demanded that Anna read it daily. "You need to know everything," she insisted. "You're responsible for my grandchild." "We don't even know if it's a boy or girl yet," Anna wearily objected. "A boy, of course," Patricia said confidently. "I have a feeling, and I've already chosen a name, Michael, after my father. Victor and I will choose the name ourselves when the time comes," Anna said firmly, feeling a headache starting. Morning sickness and constant stress from dealing with her mother-in-law made her more irritable. By the end of the first trimester, Anna began to notice that Victor was again giving in more and more to his mother's influence. He started repeating her words. "Maybe you should rest more. Mom says physical activity is harmful to the baby. You need to eat more meat. Mom says the baby needs protein." Maybe Mom is right about the name. Michael is a good name, strong. Anna tried to object. Modern medicine recommends moderate activity. They'd discuss the name later, but Victor more and more often referred to his mother's opinion. She raised me alone. She knows what she's talking about. At the 12-week ultrasound, Patricia insisted on coming with them. I have the right to see my grandchild for the first time. Anna wanted to object, but she simply didn't have the strength for another conflict. But of course, Patricia managed to spoil everything. She constantly interrupted the doctor, asked tactless questions, insisted they determine the baby's sex, even though at 12 weeks it's nearly impossible to determine. And finally, she annoyed the doctor so much that she politely but firmly asked her to leave the examination room. That doctor doesn't understand anything. Patricia fumed in the corridor. Who does she think she is? Anna felt nausea rising to her throat, and not just from morning sickness. Mom, please calm down, Victor tried to reason with her. Dr. Sanders is a good specialist. She's just doing her job. What do you all know? Patricia started shouting, not paying attention to the other patients in the hallway. I know more about pregnancy and childbirth than all these young doctors. Anna couldn't take it. Patricia, now is not the time or place for scenes. I'm very tired and want to go home. Of course, of course. Patricia instantly switched to a caring tone. Poor dear, you need to rest. I'll go home with you, make some broth. No, Anna said firmly. We'll manage ourselves. Thank you for your care. But how can... Patricia began, but Victor unexpectedly supported his wife. Mom, we're going home, just the two of us. Anna needs rest. In the taxi on the way home, Anna quietly said to her husband, Thank you for supporting me. You really look exhausted, Victor noted with concern, looking at his wife's pale face. Maybe you should take time off. Anna had been working until now, although she'd already switched to a shortened schedule. The thought of time off was tempting, but, if I take time off, your mom will move in with us, Anna smiled sadly. She'll consider it her duty to take care of me day and night. I'll talk to her, Victor promised. A serious talk. Really? Anna looked at her husband with hope. Really? Really, he nodded. I see how tired you are. And it's not just about the pregnancy, is it? Yes, Anna simply answered, feeling tears welling up in her eyes with relief. Finally, he understood, but the conversation with his mother never took place. The next day, Victor had to urgently leave on a business trip, and when he returned a week later, Anna had already taken time off, not by her own choice but at the doctor's insistence, who was concerned about her elevated blood pressure. And, as Anna had predicted, Patricia immediately offered to move in with them temporarily to help. No, thank you, Anna declined as politely as possible. I'll manage myself. Besides, I've been prescribed rest. Oh, Patricia immediately understood the implication. So I disturb you? I, who only want to help. Mom, Victor intervened, looking exhausted after the trip. Anna is right, she needs rest. But maybe you could come during the day, when I'm not home. Cook lunch, for example. It was a compromise and not the best one, but Anna decided to agree. Yes, it was better than round-the-clock surveillance. Patricia was clearly not thrilled with this half measure, but agreed. And the daily visits began. At first, everything went relatively smoothly. Patricia came, cooked lunch, did a little cleaning, and left before Victor returned from work. But gradually she began staying longer and longer. I have to wait for my son, make sure he's eaten. And then she started coming earlier and earlier. You need breakfast. You can't go hungry in your condition. And soon Anna discovered that her mother-in-law was spending almost the whole day in their home, from morning till evening, continuously giving advice, criticizing, and interfering in every aspect of their lives. You're lying down too much. You need to walk. No, no. Why did you get up? You need rest. This book is too nerve-wracking. Read something positive. What kind of music is this? You should listen to classical music for the baby's intellectual development. By the beginning of the second trimester, Anna felt like a prisoner in her own home. The morning sickness had receded, but its place was taken by constant fatigue from the endless stress. She tried talking to Victor, but he more and more often brushed it off. "She's taking care of you and the baby." When the 16-week ultrasound confirmed they were having a boy, Patricia completely lost all restraint. "I told you, Michael, my little Mikey." "We haven't chosen a name yet," Anna reminded her, feeling everything inside compress with irritation. "But I already suggested it." Patricia spoke as if the matter was already decided. "A wonderful name, strong." "Mom, Anna and I will choose the name together." Victor tried to intervene, but not too insistently. "Nonsense," Patricia waved him off. "A boy should be named after his grandfather. It's tradition." From then on, she started calling the baby exclusively Mike or Mikey, ignoring all of Anna's objections. By mid-pregnancy, Anna and Victor began actively preparing for the baby's arrival. Despite constant interference from his mother, they tried to maintain control over the main decisions. One such important issue was financial planning. Sitting at the kitchen table on a Sunday morning, Anna laid out lists of necessary purchases for the baby in front of her husband. "Look, Vic, I've divided everything into categories. Necessary, desirable, and can wait," she explained, showing the tablet. "Crib, stroller, car seat. We need to buy these for sure. And it's better not to skimp on quality." Victor carefully studied his wife's calculations. "The amount is impressive," he noted, scratching his head. "Especially considering you'll have to go on maternity leave in a couple of months." "I know," Anna nodded. "That's why I think we should use part of my savings. I've always been saving them for something important. And what could be more important than the birth of our son?" Victor smiled, covering her hand with his. "That's the right decision. I'll try to earn more too. Maybe I'll take on additional projects." "Just don't overdo it," Anna worried. "You'll need your strength too. Soon the sleepless nights will begin." They laughed, continuing to discuss plans. Anna felt warmth in her soul. Such moments of agreement and mutual understanding with her husband were becoming increasingly rare due to Patricia's constant presence in their lives. "And here we can save," Anna was saying, pointing to a list of baby clothes. "In the first months, children grow so fast, there's no point in buying expensive things." "Mom said she kept some of my baby clothes," Victor remembered. "She saved everything." Anna tried not to grimace. The thought of using Patricia's saved things didn't please her at all, but she preferred to focus on the positive moments of their planning. A few days later, when Anna was resting after lunch, she was awakened by a phone call. Patricia's name lit up on the screen. Anna sighed. Usually, Patricia was already at their house at this time, intrusively helping with housework. The fact that today she hadn't come but decided to call seemed strange. "Hello, Patricia," Anna answered, trying to make her voice sound cheerful. "Anna dear," her mother-in-law's voice sounded suspiciously sweet. "How are you feeling? How's my grandson?" "Everything's fine, thank you," Anna answered cautiously. "Aren't you coming today?" "Oh, I have such news." Patricia ignored the question. "I wanted to tell you and Victor together, but I can't wait. Can you imagine? I decided on an important step." "What kind?" Anna felt a slight unease. "I bought an apartment," Patricia announced triumphantly. "A 2-bedroom in a new residential complex." "You sold your old one." Anna was surprised. Patricia's apartment was small, but located in a good neighborhood. If sold, it could buy something more spacious. No, what are you saying?" Patricia laughed. "I'm going to rent out the old one. That's passive income. Everyone does it now. And I'll live in the new one myself. Can you imagine how convenient? And you and Victor won't have to worry about me in my old age. I'll have a stable income." "Congratulations," Anna said sincerely. The idea seemed reasonable, though somewhat unrealistic. Income from renting a 1-bedroom apartment would hardly be significant. And how did you organize this financially? Oh, that's the most interesting part, Patricia continued enthusiastically. I took out a mortgage. Can you imagine at my age? The bank manager was so surprised. He said I was a very brave woman. Anna's heart sank. Patricia was already in her 60s, and a mortgage at that age seemed like a very risky venture. Are you sure you can make the loan payments? She asked carefully. A mortgage is a serious commitment. Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Patricia's voice became honeyed. You know my pension is small and the mortgage payments are quite high. But I thought, why pay interest to the bank for years if you can immediately pay off the principal? Victor said you have an inheritance from your grandmother that you haven't used yet. Anna felt the blood drain from her face. Victor told you about my inheritance? She asked quietly. Well, yes, we were discussing financial matters. Patricia answered as if it were nothing. So I thought, why let money lie idle? Better to invest it in real estate. You'll help me pay off the mortgage now. And when you need money, I'll rent out the apartment and gradually return it to you. It's beneficial for everyone. Anna felt a wave of indignation and hurt rise inside her. Victor had discussed their personal finances with his mother, the money Anna had inherited from her beloved grandmother, and now her mother-in-law wanted to take these funds? Patricia, Anna said as calmly as possible, I'm sorry, but that's impossible. Victor and I are planning to use that money for the baby. We just discussed this yesterday. But the baby doesn't need all the money right away, Patricia objected, and I need it now. Think about it, Anna. It's for the common good of the family. If I have a stable income, I can help more with the baby. I could even sit with him while you work. Isn't that wonderful? The prospect of Patricia constantly sitting with their child made Anna shudder. Her mother-in-law already controlled the pregnancy. What would happen when the baby was born? No, it's definitely impossible, Anna said firmly. I'm sorry, but this money is intended for other purposes. Perhaps you should reconsider your decision about the mortgage if you're not sure you can handle the payments. But I've already signed the contract. Patricia's voice took on hysterical notes. I was sure you'd help. Victor said. What exactly did Victor say? Anna interrupted, feeling her pulse beginning to pound in her temples. That you'd think about it, and probably agree, Patricia answered. That it's important to me. Well, I'm sorry, Patricia, Anna said. The answer is no. I'm grateful. Patricia exploded. After everything I've done for you, I come every day, cook, clean, take care of you and the baby. And you're just selfish. This is all because of you. You're turning Victor against me, taking him away from his mother. Anna felt nausea rising to her throat, a frequent reaction to stress during pregnancy. Patricia, let's continue this conversation when Victor gets back, she said, wanting to end the unpleasant conversation. I'm not feeling well. You're pretending. Patricia spat out. You always hide behind your pregnancy when you don't want to do something. I worked until the last day in my time and gave birth to a healthy child. And you. Goodbye, Patricia. Anna pressed the end call button, unable to listen to these accusations anymore. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was pounding so hard it seemed about to jump out of her chest. She lay down on the couch, trying to calm down. Slow inhale, slow exhale, as the doctor taught her. Gradually, her pulse began to slow, and the nausea receded. Anna felt a light movement inside. The baby was making himself known. She put her hand on her belly, as if protecting the child. Everything will be fine, little one, she whispered. Mommy won't let anyone hurt you. When Victor returned from work, Anna was outwardly calm, but inside she was seething with restrained rage. She let her husband have dinner, and then asked directly, Did you tell your mother about my inheritance? Victor froze with his fork in hand. What? Well, we were talking about money, and I mentioned it in passing. Why? She called today. Anna tried to speak evenly. She said she took out a mortgage on an apartment and wants us to pay it off with my money. Oh, yeah. Victor clearly avoided her gaze. She said she wanted to invest in real estate. That's actually a good idea, passive income and all. Victor, are you serious? Anna couldn't believe her ears. We just discussed yesterday that we're using this money for the baby. The crib, stroller, car seat. Well, those are just things, Victor shrugged. They can be bought simpler. And Mom needs the apartment now. No, Victor, Anna said firmly. This is my money. It's from my grandmother, and I'm not going to give it to your mother, especially since she didn't consult with us before taking out the mortgage, and now she's decided we have to pay it off. She was counting on our help. Victor's voice held offense. She always helps us. How does she help us, Victor? Anna interrupted him, no longer hiding her irritation. By coming every day and criticizing everything I do? By trying to control every aspect of my pregnancy? By trying to remake all our decisions her own way? You're not being fair, Victor frowned. Mom is very worried about you and the baby. She only wants the best. No, Vicya, Anna shook her head. Your mom wants to control our lives. And now she's trying to control our finances too. I won't let her take money that's intended for our son. This is just your egoism talking. Victor stood up from the table, his face twisted with anger. You always only think about yourself. I'm thinking about our child. Anna exclaimed, also standing. And you didn't even consult with me before discussing my personal finances with your mother. How could you? Victor didn't answer. He just grabbed his jacket and rushed out of the apartment, loudly slamming the door. Anna slowly sank into a chair, feeling tears streaming down her cheeks. This was their first truly serious conflict since Anna had gotten pregnant, and it frightened her. What would happen next? Would money turn out to be more important than their relationship? Victor returned late when Anna was already in bed. He quietly lay down next to her without touching her and tossed and turned for a long time before falling asleep. In the morning, they hardly spoke, exchanging only necessary phrases. Anna hoped her husband would apologize or at least try to talk, but he left for work barely saying goodbye. The day passed in anxious waiting. Anna was sure Patricia would come to continue the conversation about money, but her mother-in-law didn't appear. This was so unusual that Anna even started to worry if something had happened. But then logic suggested, no, she was probably thinking over a new strategy. In the evening, Victor returned in a more conciliatory mood. He brought Anna her favorite pastries and smiled guiltily. Sorry I was rude yesterday. I got heated up. Anna wanted to say that not only he got heated up, that she was sorry about the fight too, but Victor continued. I talked to Mom. She's very upset by your refusal. Says she feels betrayed. Anna tried to keep her voice gentle. Nobody betrayed your mother. It's just that this money is already allocated for other purposes. We can't give it to her. She's just asking for help. Victor sat down next to Anna on the couch, taking her hand. Just a little, just the down payment. You have enough money to help her and have enough for the baby. Anna pulled her hand away, feeling yesterday's anger returning. Victor, are you even hearing yourself? I already said no. This money is for the baby. And we weren't talking about a little. Your mother wants us to completely pay off her mortgage. But Victor began. No buts, Anna said firmly. This is my money, and I'm not giving it to your mother. Period. Victor pressed his lips together, but didn't argue anymore. The evening passed in tense silence. They watched TV without paying attention to the screen, each absorbed in their own thoughts. Anna felt their relationship was cracking at the seams, but she didn't see a way out. To give in on the money issue would mean to completely surrender, to allow her mother-in-law to control not only their lives but also their finances. And Anna couldn't allow that. The next few days passed relatively calmly. Patricia didn't appear and didn't call, which was unusual but brought Anna relief. She and Victor returned to normal communication, although they avoided the topics of money and the mortgage. Anna even began to hope that the conflict would somehow resolve itself, that her mother-in-law would find another way to solve her financial problems. But on Saturday morning, when Victor had left to meet with friends and Anna was doing cleaning, the doorbell rang. Anna wasn't expecting guests and therefore cautiously looked through the peephole. Behind the door stood Patricia, and the expression on her face didn't bode well. "Who's there?" Anna asked just in case, although she could see perfectly well who had come. "Open up, Anna, it's me." Patricia's voice sounded unexpectedly calm. "We need to talk." Anna took a deep breath, trying to calm down. Perhaps her mother-in-law had come to apologize or suggest some kind of compromise. In any case, it wasn't possible to avoid this conversation forever. She opened the door, but she didn't even have time to say hello. Patricia literally burst into the apartment, pushing her daughter-in-law aside. Her face, which had seemed calm a second ago, was distorted with rage. "You!" she screamed, jabbing her finger in Anna's face. "You ruined everything. Because of you, I'll have to pay huge interest. The bank refused to reconsider the loan terms." "Patricia!" Anna instinctively stepped back, covering her belly with her hands. "Let's talk calmly." "What calm?" Her mother-in-law advanced on her, waving her arms. "You refused to help. You turned Victor against his mother. Because of you, I'm in debt now." "It was your decision to take out the mortgage." Anna tried to speak quietly and reasonably, continuing to back deeper into the apartment. "Victor, and I didn't promise you any money." "Liar." Patricia grabbed a vase from the table and hurled it to the floor with a crash. Shards flew in all directions. "Victor promised. He said you'd help. And then you turned him against me." Anna felt fear give way to anger. "Stop this immediately. This is my home, and I won't allow." She didn't get to finish. Patricia, with unexpected strength for her age, lunged at Anna and began hitting her on the shoulders and arms as Anna tried to protect her belly. "Give me the money!" her mother-in-law screamed. "Give it." "What? You're too stingy." "Selfish." "Bitch, give me the money." Anna tried to dodge, pushing away the crazed woman, but Patricia was stronger than she seemed. One of the blows landed on Anna's face, and she tasted metal blood in her mouth. Another blow hit her shoulder, a third hit her face again. Anna fell to her knees, trying to cover her belly, and at that moment the front door opened. On the threshold stood Victor. "What's going on here?" he exclaimed, looking at the destroyed entryway, his mother standing over Anna, and the trickle of blood running down his wife's chin. "Victor!" Patricia immediately changed tactics, tearful notes appearing in her voice. "Thank God you came. She attacked me. I just wanted to talk and she—" "What?" Anna couldn't believe her ears. "You burst into my home, smashed my things, beat me, and now you're lying?" She struggled to her feet, holding onto the wall. Her knees were shaking. Her head was buzzing. Anna touched her split lip and looked at her bloodied fingers. Then she looked at her husband. "Victor, your mother attacked me. She's demanding money and threatening. I want her to leave immediately." "Son, don't listen to her." Patricia clung to Victor's arm. "She wants to turn us against each other. She deliberately staged all this to blacken me in your eyes." Anna expected her husband to immediately rush to her, check if everything was okay, protect her from his crazed mother. But Victor stood in place, helplessly shifting his gaze from his wife to his mother. His face expressed confusion and fear. He was afraid to make a choice, afraid to stand up for his pregnant wife against his own mother. "Victor!" Anna took a step toward him, feeling tears welling up in her eyes. "Can't you see what's happening? Your mother attacked me and our baby. Are you really going to allow this?" "Victor, son!" Patricia pulled him by the arm in the other direction. "You know I would never hurt you. These are all fabrications." She hit herself on the door, and now she's accusing me. "On the door!" Anna laughed bitterly. 3 times, And smash the vase too, I suppose. She's hysterical, Patricia exclaimed. She's been abnormal from the start. All she does is turn you against your mother. Victor stood mute as a fish. His face had paled, his lips were trembling, but he didn't say a word. He didn't defend his wife, didn't throw out his mother, didn't do anything. He just stood there and was silent, while one woman was bleeding and the other continued to shout accusations. Anna felt something break inside. It wasn't even disappointment. It was realization. Victor would never take her side. He would never protect her and their child from his mother. He would always be silent, give in, and take the path of least resistance. And this was the person she was planning to raise a child with? Her head was ringing with fear and pain, but her thoughts suddenly became surprisingly clear. She slowly straightened, wiped the blood from her lip, and said in a calm, almost colorless voice, "Victor, get out." Victor flinched upon hearing these words, but still didn't utter a sound. Patricia was briefly stunned by her daughter-in-law's directness, but immediately started screaming again. "How dare you? You're lying about everything. Victor, don't listen to her." Anna ignored her mother-in-law's screams. She took 2 steps toward Victor, looking him straight in the eyes, and said quietly, "I understand everything now. You'll never choose me and our child over your mother. I was naive thinking you'd change. But enough. I won't tolerate this anymore." Something in her tone made Victor finally speak. "Anna, wait, we need to talk." "There's nothing to discuss," she cut him off. "You see that your mother attacked a pregnant woman, your wife, and you're just standing there silent. That's all I need to know." Patricia continued shouting insults, not noticing how Anna's expression was changing. Years of accumulated tension, humiliation, and pain broke through the dam. Anna felt something inside her click. The protective instinct for her child, which had been dormant inside, awakened with incredible force. "Shut up!" Anna roared so loudly that both figures, her mother-in-law and husband, froze in amazement. Patricia fell silent mid-word in surprise, but quickly recovered. "How dare you talk to me like—" She didn't get to finish. Anna, always restrained and polite Anna, suddenly punched her mother-in-law right in the eye. The blow turned out to be unexpectedly strong. The recent enrollment in self-defense classes for pregnant women had paid off. Patricia shrieked and recoiled. Anna grabbed her mother-in-law by her elaborately styled hair and dragged her toward the exit. "Ow! Let go! Victor, help!" Patricia wailed, trying to break free from the suddenly iron grip of her pregnant daughter-in-law. Victor, still paralyzed by shock, stood rooted to the spot, watching his wife literally drag his mother out of the apartment by her hair. Anna pushed her mother-in-law onto the landing. "If you ever come near me or my child again," she said in an icy tone, leaning over Patricia, "I won't just call the police, I'll file assault charges. You'll regret it." She slammed the door right in her stunned mother-in-law's face and turned to her husband. Victor, pale with an expression of absolute shock on his face, stammered, "What have you done? That's my mother. You shouldn't have—" "I shouldn't have defended myself." Anna interrupted him. "I shouldn't have protected our child from a psychopath who burst into my home and started beating me." But Victor took an uncertain step toward his wife. "You don't understand. She's just upset about the mortgage." "And you?" Fury blazed anew in Anna's eyes. "You stood and watched her beat your pregnant wife, and even now you're taking her side." Behind the door, curses and threats from Patricia could still be heard, but neither Anna nor Victor paid attention to them. "I'm not on her side," Victor objected uncertainly. "It's just all so unexpected. I was confused." "You're always confused when you have to make a choice," Anna said bitterly. "Well, I've made the choice for you. I chose myself and my child." "What does that mean?" Anxious notes appeared in Victor's voice. "It means I won't allow your mother to interfere in our lives anymore, and neither will you. Pack your things and leave." "What?" "But, Anna," Victor looked at his wife in bewilderment. "You can't just kick me out. We need to discuss everything. Maybe see a therapist." "Out!" Anna pointed to the door with such determination that Victor involuntarily stepped back. "Pack what you need and go. You can come back for the rest tomorrow when I'm not home." Victor opened his mouth to object, but the expression on his wife's face made him change his mind. He silently went into the bedroom, gathered a small bag with the essentials, and casting one last confused look, left the apartment. When the door closed behind him, Anna slowly sank onto the couch. The adrenaline had worn off. She touched her split lip, then looked at her hand. Her knuckles were scraped from the punch to her mother-in-law's face. "What have I done?" flashed through her mind. But it was immediately replaced by a feeling of strange relief and even pride. She had protected herself and her child. She was no longer a victim. Anna took her phone and dialed her mom's number. "Mom, hi. Could you come over? I've had a difficult morning." The aftermath and new life. Anna drank tea with her mother in the kitchen, recounting what had happened. Her hand still ached, and her split lip was throbbing. "You kicked out both your mother-in-law and your husband?" Her mom shook her head, but Anna saw in her eyes not condemnation, but pride. "It was time. I've been saying for a long time that Victor is too dependent on his mother." "I wasn't planning to fight," Anna said quietly. "It's just that when she started hitting me and Victor just stood there watching, something inside me broke. Or rather, something fell into place." "You were protecting yourself and your baby," her mom nodded. "That's natural. And I'm proud of you. Many women endure toxic relationships for years for the sake of family. But you found the strength to break this vicious circle." Anna nodded, looking into her cup. "I'm afraid Patricia might press charges against me. I really did hit her." "You're a pregnant woman," her mom reminded her. "Plus, you have clear signs of battery, and she only has a black eye and messed up hair. And don't forget that the apartment is your property. She invaded your home uninvited." Anna smiled gratefully at her mother. In the following days, she filed for divorce, changed the locks in the apartment, and filed an assault report against Patricia to protect herself from possible claims from her mother-in-law. Victor tried to talk several times to come back, begged her to give him one more chance. But Anna was adamant. She realized she didn't want to raise a child with someone who couldn't protect his family. The divorce went quickly. The remaining months of pregnancy passed surprisingly peacefully. Anna was finally able to enjoy her condition. She set up the nursery the way she wanted, chose a name for her son herself, and bought everything necessary using that very grandmother's money that Patricia had so wanted to get her hands on. The birth went smoothly, and when Anna first held her son in her arms, a strong boy with clear eyes, she didn't regret her decision for a second. She named him Arthur, after her grandfather, and definitely not Michael as her former mother-in-law had wanted. The first months of motherhood were difficult. Anna's mom helped, giving her the opportunity to rest and recover. Victor showed no interest in the child, only occasionally sending money without any notes or calls. Patricia tried to reconcile several times, called and came to the house, but Anna was adamant. She didn't want that toxic energy to touch her life again. When Arthur turned 1, Anna returned to work. Life was hard, but she found her own joy and freedom in it, without constant control and manipulation, without the need to report and adjust. And she established a new rule: never tolerate disrespect, never allow anyone to cross her boundaries. And she intended to pass this rule on to her son, so he would grow up to be a confident man capable of protecting himself and his loved ones. Sometimes in the evenings, putting her sleepy son to bed, Anna would remember that day when her patience snapped and she dragged her mother-in-law by the hair out of her apartment. That moment became a turning point in her life, from silent tolerance to decisive defense of her space and right to respect. All for the best, Anna thought, kissing her son on the top of his head. Definitely all for the best. And that's the story. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel.